Colorado is now a safe haven for women seeking abortion care when they live in a state where it is illegal.
News 5's Natalie Chuck is joining us from Colorado Springs City Hall tonight, where even though abortion rights are protected, many gathered to stand up for women in other states. Natalie.
Andy, Diane, the steps here were full of people earlier, many advocating for women like one I spoke with earlier today. She is 26 years old. She lives in El Paso, Texas, and she says she is not ready to have children right now, financially or mentally. And after that bombshell announcement from the Supreme Court earlier this morning, she is now having mixed feelings about her home state since Texas has basically eliminated nearly all abortions.
I can't stop crying thinking about it, of how so many women and people in general are going to be affected by this.
Anna Bencomo has a tear rolling down her cheek, reflecting on the news that the United States Supreme Court voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. 5 people were able to decide for the rest of the nation what we can and can't do with our own bodies. She lives in El Paso, Texas, where she was born and raised, a state with some of the most restrictive abortion laws. I do have someone very close to me who years back did have an abortion. And to this day, there's no regret there on their part, it was a tough decision to make when it happened, but it was a decision that they did make. And thanks to that choice that they did have back then, they now live the life that they live. Now women in Texas who want to make that choice will have to travel to states like Colorado, a wave which clinics have already started seeing.
The influx that we have seen from Texas alone has been significant and impressive, and seeing what patients have had to go through has been it is heavy and it is hard.
Vice President and medical doctor of Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains, Christina Tossi, says she got into abortion care because one of her mentors back in medical school told her what life was like before Roe v. Wade.
They saw routinely the detrimental health outcomes that occurred to patients who did not have access to safe legal abortion.
But Tossi says the outcomes could be the same now for patients who cannot afford to go get care.
It is very painful as a provider to know that when I see patients, I am seeing the patients that are able to access our services and are able to travel to us.
People who have the privilege and the money to travel are still going to continue getting these services. But those that are impoverished, people of color, are going to suffer more.
And Bencomo is left asking herself a difficult question.
As heartbreaking as it is to think of leaving my family and moving away, it's also just if this doesn't change, I have to make the best decision for myself, for my future, for future kids if I might have them. And right now, if women travel from Texas to Colorado seeking abortion access, they will not be criminally charged when they go back to Texas. Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains says people can ask them for help in order to get here. And the steps here at City Hall are expected to be busy again with protesters through the rest of the weekend. Reporting from City Hall, Natalie Chuck, News 5.